All right, welcome to Spoiler Kings. My name is Jay Kramer, Brandman Brandon, Brian the Grizzly, and we are going to break down and discuss Ahsoka. So we did a live off the couch reaction and just kind of like our raw thoughts. So now I think we all had some time to fully watch it. I watched them again because I wanted to make sure I was valid in some of the feelings I had. So I watched it again, and I'm like, okay, I know how I feel, and it's not just fanboy excitement anymore. You know, so we're gonna talk about some of the bad stuff in a little bit, and we'll talk about some of the good stuff, and we're just gonna combine both episode 1 and 2. We're not gonna like, oh, this happened in 1, this happened in 2. It's gonna be the whole hour and a half event. So Brandon, can I keep on saying Brandman because I see it down there, but Brandon. Brandon, what are some things that you liked about this Ahsoka premiere?
I'm loving the feel of this show. Like I mentioned the other day, I think of all the Star Wars shows that we've gotten, I think this feels a lot very very much in line with what I usually associate with Star Wars. I like the vibe. Rosario Dawson. We all knew that she was going to bring her A game, and she's great. It's ever since she showed up in season 2 of The Mandalorian, I was just waiting for her to get her own show. I think the Ahsoka announcement was like the main Star Wars show that I've been waiting for, and so far, I don't think it's disappointed. And it kind of has me wanting more. It's I haven't even been looking at my phone during the show like once, and if I do, I have to pause it and then rewind it just to make sure I didn't miss anything. But yeah, I really like the lightsaber fight scene in season 2. That was super dope. Especially that lightsaber. That lightsaber was really really cool.
Orange one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, it's definitely something that I've easily gotten invested in, which is great to say that like 2 episodes into the game. But that's what I like about it so far.
Sure. Brian, overall.
So I think I kind of talked about this before, and I want to double down. For me, Star Wars is about the Force. It's about the feeling of it. You should feel the Force. I mean, it moves throughout the entire movie. You feel it throughout the entire galaxy. That's what it's about. And how it affects everything in your everyday life and how it does those things. And then I love having lightsabers. So a show that has the Force and has lightsabers along with good storylines and expands the universe. That's everything that I've ever wanted. So if you do it with having those same things in it, you have me sold. That's exactly what I always wanted. And you have great characters that go along with it. So Ahsoka Tano is always great. But having Sabine is going to be a lot of people's favorites because though she's annoying as some things, people are going to like the way she does things. So she's very bullheadish, but she's very strong-willed, and she's going to win people over with her will. I think that's going to be very cool, and people are going to see it. And you're going to see some Anakin in her. You're going to see some stuff like that, which is going to be very interesting, and that's why the dynamic is so cool. And it's going to make people go and want to watch Rebels. I think Hera is a very good balance of the two of the characters. I just think they have expanded this universe, and they have now, instead of just good and evil, we have different levels of good and different levels of evil, and that's what we're going to have. And we're going to notice, you understand what gray Jedi are, and all these things, and what Balin really is.
Mm-hmm.
And I think expanding the universe into these things and having these various shades of gray are going to really expand our knowledge of it and expand our enjoyment of seeing different things, because they've done a bad job with a lot of these other shows that have come out recently. So besides Rogue One, what else has been really good? be honest, really, so
Mandalorian.
and you're right, and
I would say
Mandalorian,
Mandalorian.
especially
That's season 1 and 2.
season
At
1
least.
and 2, yeah.
Yeah.
But
But
besides that, I
that's
mean,
it.
they've come out with a lot of bad stuff because they didn't follow. Understand what Star Wars is. You need Force, you need lightsabers, you need a good storyline, and you need to expand the universe. If you do those things, you have a chance to be really good. So I'm optimistic about this entire season, even though I'm worried about the show time for episode 3. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's one thing that does suck. Which I guess that's more concerned for later. But right now, with the premiere with these 2 episodes, yeah, I enjoy seeing the crew together again. The Rebels crew. I'm waiting for Zeb to show up. I'm pretty sure he's got to show up. They already teased him in show what that was, a Mandalorian. Yeah, they showed him in Mandalorian already.
Yeah.
The last season 3, the last one. He was at the bar.
Oh yeah, at the bar. Yeah,
it was Zeb. So yeah, but the whole feel of it felt familiar from the beginning. Scroll, I enjoyed that. The scroll was great because it wasn't the full epicness of a movie scroll, and it seemed like slimmed down and more streamlined kind of version of a scroll, which was perfect for a side character or a side story of Star Wars. It's like, yeah, we're not gonna give you the big bomb and the giant scrolling, thing. So I was like, that I like that. That fit what they were, I think, going for with this whole side story character kind of thing. Yeah, I thought overall it looked good. There were some issues I had, but overall it looked good. The characters were very interesting. But yeah, just overall it felt like Star Wars, and that's what I wanted. And one like what you said, Brian, I feel like it's gonna go forward with the lore and go forward with telling stories and stuff like this, and I'm really curious about what that's gonna be, because are they going to a new universe? Are they just going to a new place? There's all these things happening, and I'm kind of really curious to see what exactly is gonna happen. And yeah, I just like they pull stuff from the bad guy, Morgan. She winds up being a Night Sister. Amazing. It works so well. It's like, here's a bunch of people that they're I don't know, they're not really religious. The thing that they grew up being, the Night Sisters, the Jedi, are all gone.
Yeah.
They
had ancient temples about the Night Sister of Dathomir.
Yeah.
That's
but she's one of a few left. Ahsoka, is one of a few. They keep adding more, but one of a few left that survives of the Jedi. So it's really interesting that they're taking these characters that have these backgrounds of a dying breed of. So I really enjoyed that. Yeah. So here, D Stizzle said, solid premiere. I'm cautiously optimistic about the rest of the show. Understandable. So we're supposed to see younger Ahsoka too. Yeah, probably during the flashback with
Anakin. You want to see
Anakin?
Yeah,
be awesome. Did I hear Scroll? Wrong show. Wrong Disney Plus show. Or wrong Scroll, not Scroll. Scroll as
the
in
scroll as it's scrolling through. Yeah. That the one.
Diesel said Zeb and Jason what was that? That's what was that? Jason definitely wants to see Luke, but they might save him for later.
I think they will. The highlight of this is going to be Ezra. And my question is,
Rex should be in there.
Does Ezra and Thrawn come to our universe, or do all of us go to the beyond? Go there. Yeah.
Do it. Yeah.
So that's a huge. I have no idea, because there's oh, we're gonna go here, and it's the beginning crumb to find out where they are. And if we go there and then now we can't get back, or only one of them can get back, how does that change? So I think that'd be interesting. But Balin is just such a cool character. I can't wait to see hear more
I didn't even
about
bring
him.
Balin's so cool. His apprentice Chin,
Yes, she.
I didn't think, I'm like, oh, she's gonna be like there. I wind up really liking her when she starts toying with Sabine, just toying with Sabine. I'm like, oh, she is kind of cocky, arrogant. She's like, oh, you got a lightsaber? Oh, that's cool. Look what I got, and look what I can do. And she was just messing with her, So I really enjoyed that, like the lightsaber fights, stuff like that.
It was very Anakin like for Shin.
Yeah, yeah. Um, real quick, before we get into some of the bad stuff, I know last time we were talking about ages and stuff like that. And Star Wars Theory did a really good video breaking down the age according to the timelines and stuff like that. And he said that Balin would be about 22 at the time of him being in the Jedi Temple. The same time he was there, Anakin would have been 25. So they're really, really close in age, Balin and Anakin. So that puts a little bit more into perspective, So they're about both somewhere between 55 to 60-ish in age range, which makes sense because he's a little bit older, grayed up and stuff like that. So looks like a badass. But yeah, just to put that in perspective of time wise. But yo, what's up? What's up, Brandon?
What up, B?
Hey, Bray.
Both
You
Balin and
enjoyed
Shin
your
are.
birthday.
Oh yeah, man.
I hope you enjoyed that birthday, man. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome thing.
It said both Balin and Shin are dope so far. Yeah, I can't wait for more of them.
How old did the Star Wars Theory say Shin is?
It's hard to tell because there's no time frame with it, but he said she's about 20.
This is exactly what I said.
Exactly. Yeah, I think we were both like,
Like,
in
we both
range.
said, yeah.
I think in real life she's like 22 or something like that. She's
Yeah,
super
she
young
is.
in real life. That actor. But yeah, I think he just said like she looked like she was. Like, yeah,
and that's why, and she's the same age as Sabine, basically. Like, they're within 2 years of each other too.
Yeah, it should be. So, we're getting into like some predictions and theories after we get into the bad. Because there are some of that, and we'll do that. But Brandon, what's some of the things you didn't like about the show?
I'd say as much as I like it so far, narrative wise, it's a little it feels a little flimsy at times. It's kind of I think some of it kind of gets tedious the way they kind of like bounce around from character to character to situation. Sometimes that gets a little exhausting. I'd say just kind of like from a narrative standpoint, it could stand to have a little more, to be a little more centered and a little more focused. So hopefully that happens as the series progresses. Those are like my main two big things right now.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What are you, Brian?
I kind of don't like the fact that how do I say this? I feel like Ahsoka should know more about Sabine. You know what I'm saying? Like, she should know her better, especially because how she grew up, as we saw her in Rebels, and we saw her how she was. She should understand Sabine better, and then why she accepted her at certain, to be an apprentice was never really expelled out. So some of that stuff is, which I'm sure they will do during the show, but I feel like Ahsoka should know better. Like, she's becoming, as much as she says hasn't been a Jedi, she's being just like, she's falling to that same trope as a lot of the Jedis do, just at the beginning of this right now, which I'm sure it will change as we go along. I'm just saying that's something I did not like. I didn't care for at the beginning. Sabine doing the stupid stuff, that's what a kid does. So I mean, as much as it frustrates me, I understand it. I do, but it does frustrate me overall. But besides that, I mean, I thought it was done so very well. A beginning of a story has to like have, introduce these characters. You need to understand where they're coming from. So I had no problem with everything else they're doing. I don't have a whole lot of complaints. I mean, besides Sabine being annoying sometimes, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then even he says, I'm right there with him. There's my only negative is Sabine's Padawan angle. Felt very left
Yeah.
field.
Like,
I definitely
wow.
get that.
She already had lightsaber. She already had training. She's a Mandalorian.
She
There's a
had the
lot of
dark
stuff.
saber for
Yeah.
for a little bit. I was like, what are we talking about? And that's probably my one. I have two really ones that kind of bother me, and that was kind of my biggest thing is not only the whole Sabine and Ahsoka are like they're not training anymore. They're not really cool anymore. I'm like, wait, when did she even start doing that? Like, I feel like even though I watch Rebels, love Rebels, and I just feel like I'm like there's something missing in between, and I'm supposed to be part of the audience that is like not missing anything because I saw Rebels,
Yeah.
So it's like, like I get where some people are like, I never saw Rebels, I'm a little lost. I'm like, yeah, don't worry, you'll find it. But me, I'm like, wait a minute, like I did the homework and I'm still lost. What the hell, So them doing that off camera, like all of that, like becoming an apprentice, having some kind of falling out and not training
And
anymore, and then
Ahsoka walking
hanging out
away from
anymore.
her.
Yeah, like it seemed, and especially that from Ahsoka, those two characters felt very different than their Rebels versions of them. Like Sabine,
Mhm.
she was awesome. I did enjoy her. Don't get me wrong. I did enjoy her in the show, but she felt very different than she did in Rebels. In Rebels, she was more of a badass, kind of a loner, but very still much like a badass. Like, don't worry, I got it. I can do it. Like didn't need anybody's help, kind of thing. And Ahsoka was more. She felt more of like a monk or something. You know what I mean? Very, like soft spoken, and didn't let her feelings get in the way, and was smart. And
Always in
told you
control.
tidbits of things. Yeah, very in control. And here it was just like every time we cut to Ahsoka, she's like saying something kind of bad and just like has her arms crossed and like just kind of like mad. It was
Mhm.
like, like I get it why she's mad, but also she felt very different than she did in Rebels.
Mhm.
And I was saying, so that was one. This Sabine and Ahsoka and kind of their that, and then also the dialogue. As I watch it again, I think that's Dave Filoni's problem right now. Is this isn't a cartoon? You can't have the same kind of dialogue in a cartoon that you have in live action. They need to be a little different because one, you're dealing with a cartoon, so you're able to get away with a little bit more. Here you
Mhm.
have actors with eyes and faces and body language and stuff like that. So like the dialogue needs to match what that person say. Also, don't get me wrong, it's more of a nitpick. It didn't pull me out of the show, but as watching it again, I was like, okay, it's a little weird. And I think he's trying to bridge it, and I think he's getting there. And hopefully by the end of the season, I feel like he can get there. But it is something that a lot of those people that become animators and directors of animation to live action, that's a problem that they all kind of have.
Yeah. Yeah.
For the most part, they need to figure that out. It's like, oh, we're dealing with people that we can, just put on a paper. Now we're dealing with a person who's going to put their own thing into it. So it's a lot different. But
Yeah.
those are my two.
I'll be back in 1 minute. I'm going to turn my AC on and get some more water.
Okay. So yeah, those are just some of my little nitpicks. Nothing too
Nothing huge.
crazy.
Yeah, that
I
makes sense.
still love this show. I thought it was great. I love the beginning, the first two episodes. Super, super fun. Had a lot of fun. I thought the fight scenes were great.
Mhm.
A lot of people are kind of hating on the fight scenes. Like it didn't feel as tight, as a lot of people expected. I didn't feel like that. I thought it was good.
I mean, everything made sense though, because I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
I mean, Sabine hasn't trained in years.
Yeah.
Ahsoka
Yeah.
was very much still in control, and no
Yeah.
one else was on her level. As far as lightsaber things, and that was cool. And then seeing the opposite doing their thing, I thought that was cool. And seeing that they said the master and apprentice, and having that mirror what's going on. I thought that was really cool too. So yeah.
I did have one question. When Brandon comes back, I want his opinion on it. So before I ask that comment, Diesel said, I'm in the minority, but I wasn't a big Sabine fan in Rebels. She's slightly annoying, high level RPG character, awesome at everything in my opinion. Kanan and Hera were my favorites. Zeb, Ezra, were just okay. You probably, I don't know. I think you are in the minority with Sabine. I love Sabine, and she's also like from a very powerful, formerly powerful Mandalorian family, so that's got to have a sting to it. And then she was a badass when she was becoming an emperor or an empire pilot or something like that. So she was a badass, and she's Mandalorian at the end of the day. Mandalorians are just badass. They know how to fight, they know how to survive, they know how to do what needs to get done.
That's I really enjoyed though seeing her when she said she's gonna become a Jedi again. She didn't like put on a robe. She became who she put on her Mandalorian armor. And it was like, let's go. Because that's who she is.
I want to see the Sabine Mandalorian armor. Brightly colored, tagged all up. That's what
he has to become that though.
Yeah.
I think that this is all about her. I think this whole story is going to be about her becoming who she is, finding out who she is before we see Ezra again. She's finding herself. Yeah. That's what this is all going to be about.
Yeah. But I'll agree. Kanan and Hera were right off the bat awesome. I like Zeb. Zeb was kind of just a goofy character. We forgot to talk about Chopper. Chopper was in this episode. Chopper was awesome. That's exactly how I remember Chopper, and it's exactly what I wanted from Chopper. Like a little smart ass, witty, droid. Chopper was great. Ezra, for me, the first season, I wanted to slap that kid. he was super annoying. And I know we talked about it before, it's like he was super annoying. And then in the next season, he got a little bit better, kind of almost went evil, so he was kind of holding that line. And then by the end of this series, in that third or fourth season or whatever, he was great. I loved what he became. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. But yeah. Oh, you got a fan on?
Yeah, my AP.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's hot down here.
Oh yeah, I bet. We're down. It's still like 90 degrees outside.
Yeah.
But all right, so you're back. So I'm gonna ask this question for you guys. One of the biggest kind of issues I had, and I don't know, maybe as a viewer than them as a character in that scenario, was when they go back to the planet and they're making all the spaceship stuffy things, and the dude tells her like, "Oh, most of these people and droids are from former Empire thing," and right away, I was like, "Oh, Mandalorian season 3, that whole episode when everybody we all hated." I gave it a chance, it didn't pay off, but I'm like, is it paying off now in a whole nother show? But I mean, not really. But it did tell us like, not every Empire person is on board with this new Republic kind of thing.
I feel like they're saying that a lot. They keep on saying the same thing over and over again.
Yeah. But to see like the entire place was all just like Empire loyalists, I was like, damn, really? It was like, and you're a general and you're like, oh, hey, these guys are doing a lot of extra work. Oh, and they're all former Empire? Oh, like no one put one and one together. That was just something that's a little goofy. I get maybe you want to trust them because like, oh yeah, they were forced to do it, but it's like, I don't know.
I hear that. I
what do you guys think about that? Like that whole scene of like they were all still bad guys. How do you feel about that?
I get what you're saying. Yeah. I was kind of like all of them.
Right.
They
all got arrested.
Mm-hmm.
I think what you saw was, I think what they said, exactly what they said. All of them, it's not about them being good or bad. It's about them being greedy. And they got fat and happy when the Empire was in charge, right? And now that the new Republic's coming in, They no longer have the opportunity to have that money. So it's not about like they like the Empire or don't like the Empire. It's about the fact that they got fat and happy because the Empire was feeding them, and now this is an opportunity for them to get fed again.
That's interesting. I didn't even think about that.
So
So it's
that's
not
why
even about being loyal. It's about the money.
it's about the money. Yep, exactly. Has nothing to do with anything else. It's all about.
That makes sense. He even said that. He goes, we don't care. It's all about the money. He said it directly, and I didn't even think about it. That is something that is interesting. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's what happens when you have a change of power. They want everyone to go along with it, but the people that were good during the first power, they aren't happy because they're back down to the bottom of the totem pole.
Mhm.
They had all this money before, now they don't have anything. So it's like, okay, well, how can I get back up there? And this is an opportunity for me to be greedy and get back and have this great status to have more money. Then that's what I'm gonna do. Doesn't matter who it hurts because I don't see any of that. To me, it's about me taking care of me.
Yeah, which is very real world.
Yeah.
Like I said, it doesn't matter what universe or anything. Money is money. Greed. That is very interesting.
It's a reflection.
Yeah. But it also kind of goes hand in hand with like Ahsoka and Balin. It's like, are they good? Are they bad? Or are they just kind of doing what's best for themselves or what they think is, where these guys, they're not really good or bad anymore. They're just greedy, where like now you have Ahsoka and Balin, which I believe are both like center kind of force users, but Ahsoka's like leaning a little bit more towards the Jedi side or the light side, and Balin's a little bit more toward the dark side, but they're still like somewhere in the center, So
she's a little bit more trusting to the Jedi side, and he's a little bit less trusting. Like he's seen it, knows that doesn't, it's not as what all
like he likes the
goodness
power
was.
More.
Exactly. Exactly.
So that's gonna be interesting because like everything's not black and white. There's a lot of gray in
there's a lot of gray area. Yeah, definitely agree in that regard.
I cannot wait to see when Ahsoka, the flashbacks of Ahsoka seeing herself along with Anakin and realizing that so much of herself, Sabine has so much of herself in her, and realizing how did Anakin deal with me doing these things. And instead, because she knows who Anakin became, but she also realized that he taught her all these things and how that's going to help her balance all these things out with Sabine and become actually a good master.
Yeah, over here. Balin feels like a dark Jedi. Exactly. Like a dark Jedi. Yep. Or he's still a Jedi, but a little bit. I'm gonna go play over there a little bit.
I still believe in all the Jedi lore, but
yeah, because like he does, like when he first gets on the new spacecraft, he didn't want to kill him. He's like, hey, let me go do what I gotta do, man. And the guy's like, starts calling him names and shit. And he's like, all right, well, I'm gonna kill you. He's like, I gave you a chance. You didn't want to listen. So I'm gonna do what I gotta do. So even at the end where he was like, he goes, oh, it's a pity I have to kill a Jedi. There's few of them left. It's like, huh? So he's not like a cold blood killer. He's not a Darth Maul or kind of character. He's definitely, like more in the middle kind of thing. Still respects the tradition of it.
I can almost see he almost sees himself as a Jedi still.
Yeah.
He thinks that they lost their way, not that he lost his.
Kind of like in Insidious, like Sidious, not Sidious.
Exactly.
Darth Tyrannus. What the heck's his name?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. Who's Darth Tyrannus? I can't think of his name. He was in the cartoon.
You're the one you're talking about is
from episode 2.
Oh my god, what is his name?
What was his name?
Yeah, it's escaping me right now.
Yeah, I know. I'm having a brain fart.
I'm tired right now. Chat, come on, guys. You guys got this. Come on.
But it's weird that I know the name that he hardly uses is Darth Tyrannus. But yeah. Count Dooku. There you
Oh
go.
my god.
Thank you.
Dooku. Yes. Thank you.
Jesus.
Dooku. Oh my god.
I had a brain fart. I could not remember. Yeah, Dooku. You know, that's kind of how Dooku felt. Like he felt like, hey, you guys are in the wrong. You guys are doing some bad stuff, so I'm gonna go help these other guys out because I don't agree. But Dooku had his own plan. You know that didn't work out.
Because I believe in balance. That's what it was.
Yeah. But and then so here's we get into some if you guys have any weird predictions or theories. So this is something that I heard and I really am digging in now. So Cleve said, I think Ahsoka knows that Inquisitor. So there is a theory that Inquisitor, whose name is like Morak or something like that, that is actually Ezra. That Ezra came back early because he knew Thrawn was coming back, and in order to keep everything secret, because it's like Ahsoka should have easily taken out that Inquisitor. Yeah. Pretty easy. You know, I mean, granted, you know, it's still a little hard. Don't get me wrong. You know, they were trained, but she's done it before a few times, quite a few times. She should have kind of done it. So I'm like, huh.
The only thing I'll say about that is that if it was Ezra, they will feel it. Oh, Balin, you know, Balin and Ahsoka both would have felt it.
That's why I'm like, Ahsoka knows. It's like, what if Ahsoka knows that's Ezra and they're playing the double agent kind of thing?
But Balin would have also felt it. He would have felt it too.
How would he have known that's Ezra, or he would have just known?
You know,
that's a Force user on my side.
This is a Force user. I feel the Force in this person.
That's what an Inquisitor is. An Inquisitor is a Jedi in training that never quite got to that level, but became an Inquisitor. So they are Force users.
Yeah, but he would feel the goodness around him, because you know when someone's using the good side of the Force and not and using the bad. You can tell. But you know what? But who am I to know? I don't know I don't know what's going to happen in episode 3 and 4. So no, maybe you're right.
Maybe like in Dragon Ball, they learn how to hide their power. You know, like did Ezra learn that, like how to hide his aura or something like that?
Yeah, but then why would he then allow them to get as far as they're going to get for Thrawn?
Maybe because he doesn't know. Maybe they split up somehow, you know. And he needs to figure out where Thrawn is so he can finish his job. You know, I don't know. You know, but that would lead into a lot of conflict between the group. I think too. I can see, but that also fits very much with Ezra. You know, Ezra is like, you know, I gotta do what I gotta do. You know, that's what Kanan told me, kind of thing. You know, and you know, I'm sorry, I hurt your feelings. You know, because he already did it once by, you know, going away with the space whales. I don't know. It seems like Ezra would be okay with hurting their feelings because he knows it's for the greater good. You know, like that's.
I don't know if he could do it to Sabine. Not in her face.
Yeah. Well, the big thing
enough.
is if Sabine and him and that Inquisitor ever meet, then that'd be stupid. Because I'm pretty sure they're going to meet at some point. Then I want to know what happens. Like if he holds back and doesn't kill her. Or does it stab her or something?
I mean, he couldn't.
Yeah, exactly. That's why he couldn't. So like, but Cleve said, I think Ezra learned new things in the galaxy. Yeah, exactly. She would have felt something. Yeah, I
think someone would have felt. No. I think because even with Balin, he felt Ahsoka. He knew what was going on. He knew about this deceit. Like he knew a lot of stuff. He felt all those things because he wasn't a youngling. You know, when this stuff happens, as we said, if he was 22 when Anakin was 25, he was not a youngling. He was almost a full-fledged master by that time. So he knows more about the Force. He knows he's a full-fledged Jedi. So I feel like he would have felt if someone else was doing something like that behind the scenes.
Yeah. He's really strong. Like he can see things, you know. So yeah, he's really strong with the Force. I don't know. You guys got any theories or things you want to see? Maybe.
I think it's a little too early to say at this point.
Yeah.
At this point, I'm just rolling with it.
Yeah. going with it. Maybe
I would love to see Darksaber somehow come up in this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying. Yeah, I gotta look at the timeline.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe no, because the Darksaber is already with Mandalorian at this point, right?
I know. Yeah, it is. So at this point, right now, this is probably before season 3. So the Mandalorian, or this could be this could be after season 3.
Could be.
You know, so if
Or it
it's
could be
after
going on when season 3 is going on. You know, next thing you know, we
Hey.
hear a rumble, because that would make sense if like Sabine is like, "Hey, my people are trying to get their planet back." You know, at the end of the season, I don't know, but it's around the same time, I think.
Yeah.
You know, because this is already after she met Mandalorian
Mhm.
twice at this point. You know, like, yeah, but like, she already knows who Luke is. Why wouldn't she get help from Luke? You know, or trying not to bother him. I don't know. There's some of those things that are my problem. Well, I think was their Star Killer, bro. Anakin's former Padawan versus Darth Vader's secret Padawan.
Dude, that would be pretty.
That would
But
be awesome.
would that be
Star
the
Killer.
reason?
Yeah, there's so much to get into with Star Killer if they decide to do Star Killer. Part of me says yes, I want to see Star Killer, but part of me says no, because that's a whole thing on its own. You know, because he's a super great character. So
I think we'll get that towards the, maybe season 2. I could see that happening. Like you see, she kills Balin, and then now Star Killer comes out of nowhere. It's like, she thinks she's the most powerful Jedi left, and then we find out maybe you're not. Maybe you're not the or Sith. You're not the most powerful out here, the best Force user out. There's someone else who had the same training as you.
Yeah,
that is something that has been annoying the hell out of me. We've been hearing that the Jedi are all but dead, but every time I turn around, there's a new Jedi.
keep up. Yeah, so good, this and that. And then one last theory for me is I think Shin is the daughter. I know I said it in the live reaction. I think that's his daughter. If she's about 20, that would, and he's about 55. That would mean he was about 30, 35 when
that means
she was born.
Was 10 years after Order 66 or something like that.
Makes sense. Like if he just left because right before they turned on him, he's like, oh shit, what's gonna happen next, and took off, or I don't know, but obviously he escaped Order 66 somehow. So but obviously the way he is with the Force and about the Jedi, she has the Jedi braid, the Padawan braid.
Padawan braid, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm kind of curious about that situation. And I'm really curious about her, because she was just a badass. She didn't really talk much, but a little bit, the action spoke for itself. Yeah. So, anything else?
Right now.
Oh,
yes.
there we go. Someone saying that Barriss Offee, but that looks like a dude in the armor. Yeah. Don't want another Taskmaster. There we go. Yeah. Yeah. I heard that too, because I believe Barriss was the one that framed Ahsoka in the Clone Wars, and that's the reason why Ahsoka left. Yeah, but that it looks like a dude. It could be a chick. I don't know. But I mean, if it is, I'll be cool with that too. But yeah, that'd be interesting.
So tall. It was broad shoulders. You feel like it was a guy.
Yeah, that's what I feel like. But like you say, it could be a Taskmaster scenario. I don't know. It could be. But I wouldn't be fully against that if it makes sense. But we'll see what they do with that whole Inquisitor kind of thing. But cool, man. Anything else?
Say that's about it on my end.
Yeah,
just excited to see more prime time Ahsoka. So once again, Tuesday prime time, we're gonna get more Ahsoka. So I'm excited about that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, super excited. We got what, 6 more weeks? 7?
Yep.
6 more weeks.
Yes.
6 more weeks.
So, October 3rd is the last episode, I believe. Yeah.
Yep.
October 3rd is the last episode. So, yeah, super excited. Can't wait. The Tuesday thing might have been just a one and done thing. I don't know if we're gonna do that every Tuesday, especially with the NFL season starting.
Yeah, it's
Be
not
cool if they were.
yeah. But it will definitely talk about it on Thursdays and do our kind of breakdown, because now it's just gonna be one episode and it looks like it's gonna be like 30-minute ish episode, which kind of sucks. But
Yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna be here every Thursday talking about Ahsoka, until the season's over, and either being very happy or very sad in the upcoming weeks. We'll see.
I mean, 6 weeks left. I mean, this could be good.
Yeah.
I'm hoping it's the start of the new beginning for Star Wars. But cool. That's it from us for the Ahsoka premiere stuff. If anything we missed that you liked or disliked, leave a comment down below. If there's any theories you have on anything, leave a comment down below. I definitely love hearing theories and stuff like that.
Do you think this can save Star Wars and doesn't need to be saved? I would love to hear that.
Oh, Star Wars always. But so, yeah. But yeah, leave a comment down below. Let us know. So if you're watching a replay, thank you guys. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and you can join us live every Monday and Thursday. We talk movies and TV shows, news, reviews, and trailers. So make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit that like button. If you're watching live, stick around. We're gonna finish things up for the night.